ultimately lies with the Veravant. Do not break the code or suffer to become a wolf. They are exiled. They are alone. The Bitch and the Half-Breed. Marevra was a bitch, or at least that is what most would call her. Some referred to her as an assassin, others a fighter. Still, her favorite had to be a no-good, dirty, rotten thief. She did not care. They were all true, anyway. Marevra thought most people were a bunch of idiots, so why should their opinions offend her? Sometimes she would listen to those around her prove their loquaciousness, rambling on and on about how the gods or their fate had shaped who they were. She did not believe this for a moment. Marevra was under the firm belief that people are born just as they are and will always end up being. How they got here was irrelevant. Fate did not shape a person. Their will did. Those with weak wills were always destined to become weak people. When Marevra first joined the Fox Ring, this became even more evident. What began as a guild of 15 rested now at a humble 5, not including the Veravant. Only 5 foxes proved themselves worthy, strong, and capable. Those before them folded. They gave up or died pathetically. Save one, Cage Mastrosis. He had defected from the ring, disobeyed the Veravant, and was subsequently marked as a wolf. None of the remaining 5 had ever met him. After telling Cage's tale as a warning, the Veravant did not mention his name again. Marevra had altogether shaken the thought of him from her mind. She was not to even think of a wolf. There was no return once you were marked as such. The guilds forever sullied your name. Your face was known for shame alone. Not just to guilds, either. Your name leaked into cities and towns, villages and hamlets alike. As a wolf, your life was one of absolute rejection. They are exiled. They are alone. The Veravant had sent 2 of his foxes, Marevra and Baga, to the desolate town of Baratina to deal with a shady merchant who had foiled an entire shipment to the ring. At least 20 hand-forged ruby blades, due for delivery 6 days ago, had never arrived. The Veravant did not take the misplacing of his things lightly. So Marevra made sure she told the merchant just how unimpressed her boss was before she slit his throat and Baga cleaned out his shop. Now Marevra and Baga stood outside one of the town's taverns, their stolen cart filled with pilfered goods ready to be returned to and divvied by the ring. However, they had not found the ruby daggers, which Marevra knew would ruffle the Veravant greatly. Likely, highwaymen had stolen the daggers en route, or the Nelliman had intercepted the shipment. Or another guild, another pest. But that was a problem for another day and would be dealt with then. For now, Marevra only wanted a strong drink. She sauntered into the tavern and, for a second, was thrown by the absence of any patrons. However, she dismissed her shock as she surveyed the fully stocked bar and the busy keep. He stared at her with obvious lust. Marevra was used to such lascivious looks. Her job kept her figure rather shapely, and her tan skin was striking compared to the pale denizens of Baratina. Her long, sand-colored hair was pulled back tightly, splashing down her backside, sweeping just above her rear. But it was her eyes that captured the most attention, Marevra knew. Molten gold, dangerously seductive. And right now, they were pulling the barkeep into a familiar trance. That is, until Baga entered behind her. Immediately, the barkeep turned up his